Hello everybody, my name is Tomasz and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll concentrate on how to create a good posture, we'll go through the points, how to build it and how to maintain it. Enjoy! As you see, we have our guest again coming with us, Richie. I'm not sure if he's interested about the good posture, but it's always nice to have him with us. Posture is a vertical alignment of your spine in relation to the floor. Now, a good posture is the one that is as long as possible and always aligned in 90-degree angle towards the floor. So if I stand sideways and show it, for example, that will be a good posture, but maybe not angled 90 degrees to the floor. That will be a little curvy posture with dropped back. That will be where my hips are going backward. And of course, there's many examples of bad postures. But in general, when we talk about posture, we start at our hips and finish with the top of our head. So firstly, a good posture is crucial for our body mechanics. By having correct posture, we use much less muscle strength, our joints wear off much less, and generally we are less fatigued and tired after the dance. Second point, good posture makes us look good and confident. So it makes us look positive, it makes us look confident, it makes us look open, it makes us look presented. And all that is happening from good posture. And number three, especially in ballroom dancing, good posture is the key that allows us to actually dance together in a couple comfortably, because only by having two people with good posture, we can connect with no problems and shift two bodies as one across the floor. Now let's talk about the body blocks, because good posture consists of the correct alignment of four major body blocks in our body. Now the four body blocks are hips, chest, shoulders, and head. Now all those 4 points have to be correctly aligned in relation to each other to create a vertical line of your spine. Okay, so let's show you a good posture. When I stand sideways, first of all, in a normal life, our balance should be in the middle of our foot, right? So now if I drew a line that is vertical to the floor, when I have good posture, 4 points should be connected. The middle of my ear, middle of my shoulder, middle of my hip, and just in front of the ankle bone. So hopefully now with the line on my spine, you should see that those points are connected. I will now demonstrate with the same line that if I just drop my chest, everything shifts, right? I can only, for example, angle my hips, and again, everything will shift. I can just move the head forward and everything will shift. So having those 4 points aligned vertically will guarantee us the looks of good posture. Of course, remember that it's for the majority of the people. We are all built slightly differently. So for some of you, it might be not possible to get it exactly in line, but we are all just trying to get as close as possible. And of course, it will be easier for some people and harder for the others. Okay, so now back to the body blocks. If I stand sideways, we have to check 4 major things. So first of all, we have to make sure that our hips are parallel to the floor. So notice that some of you will have hips angled forward, and some of you will have hips angled backward. And to be honest, the backward one is the most common one, especially for ladies, because of the position, right? So make sure that whether you're a leader, follower, man or lady, your hips are parallel to the floor. Now the second one is your chest. Because we sit behind the desk most of the times, we tend to relax our chest a lot, and that's how our posture feels comfortable in, because actually the shape of the spine is a curved S rather than a straight line, which means that is a very comfortable position for us. But for dancing, it's not the best one. So what we have to make sure is to pick up the chest and make sure that the top of the chest falls on our toes, not on our heels, right? So first, hip parallel, second, chest presented forward. Now the third body block are our shoulders. And now the shoulders can be either moved back forward in front of our body, that can be pinched backward behind our body, and can be somewhere in neutral position, and that's exactly where we need them. Now the last body block, and that's I think the most visible that we can all see ourselves whether we do it correctly or not, is where the head is. And now remember, with the head, it's not just the head position, but it's also the head alignment. So, for example, for ladies, you might have the head technically in the correct place, but just because now your neck is very short, your posture is broken, right? Or you can have just the head a little more forward. That's again, posture will be broken. Because most of us during the day sit, and usually we work in front of the computer or sit behind the wheel in a car, we will try to briefly show what are the major mistakes that will also influence your dancing. Because remember, if you're sitting in one position for 9 hours, 5 days a week, and you think that over 1 hour and a half or 2 hours practice 4 times a week something will improve, then that will not happen. You have to remember that posture has to be worked on constantly, and creating a good habit requires thinking about it inside the studio and definitely outside of the studio. Imagine how wonderful it would be if you can practice your dancing during your work. So we have a mini setup for you that hopefully it's very similar to what you have. We will try to show very briefly what can you improve and how can you practice at work even without your boss noticing that you're practicing. So let's get to it. So now the first thing you have to understand that we should all try to bring our back towards the chair. I know it's very comfortable to first of all have the hips shifted forward and have a curved back. But if you stay like that for 8 hours, day in and day out, you will have problems, first of all, with your health, and that's the majority of the cases. And the second of all, it will not be easily fixed in the studio. Because in the studio we have so many other things to think about, posture should be already settled. So what you have to do is you have to bring your hips to the edge of the chair. From that, make sure that your hips are parallel to the floor. They should not be angled, they should be parallel to the floor. From that, and maybe that's not the best chair because it's actually tilting slightly backward, but that's all we have for now. We should comfortably put our back on the back of the chair. And now, ideally, that should be vertical to the floor, of course, but that's good as well. Now, what's very important now, that notice that my computer is very, very far from me. Now, the biggest issue we have that we start doing that, right? So you have to make sure, and that might be not possible for me, that you're close enough to your computer that you can comfortably type without really change of your posture and especially of your shoulder moving forward. Notice that, and I will now maybe change to diagonal view so you see it better. Notice that if I have mouse in that hand and I constantly have that hand forward, not only I put the shoulder forward, but I also create a habit in my body of the rotation and constantly one way. So that probably will create a lot of problem. Now the second thing that what usually we have is that monitor is very, very low compared to our head position. Now all I want to do is do that, right? And type whatever I want to type. Now what we should have ideally is the monitor in front of our eyesight, that we can clearly just look straight and do whatever we need to work. I will try to stress it enough. Please remember that posture is mostly for your health. Dancing is lovely, we all love to dance, but what we don't want to have is a headache that lasts for a month because our neck muscles got so tensed that the blood flow is not efficient going to our brain. So make sure that you have a very nice and long neck. It doesn't have to be poised artificially, and we will go through that in a second, but it should be in as best alignment as you can possibly be. And even going from here to here would make a difference. Also remember that the worst thing you can do is to lock your body in a static position for hours. So for example, 3 hours in one position, that's the worst thing you can do for your body. So that's exactly when you should make sure that your posture is vertical. Now, if you have to put books underneath your laptop, do that. If you have to maybe invest in the better chair, please do that. But try to take care of your health. And of course, it will also benefit us on the floor. Now, another very important point when we talk about good posture is that posture should not be held, it should be pretty much maintained. So a good posture is just a correct alignment. We shouldn't put 100% of the muscle effort to try to stretch it as long as possible. Why? Because good posture is alignment of your spine. Now, spine is a set of bones. We cannot stretch a bone. We can only stretch a muscle, which means that we only have to put it into correct places, almost like a tower of blocks. You cannot make that tower longer. You cannot make that tower shorter. You can only put the blocks in a straight line so they can create the longest possible picture you can achieve. And then you should always try to be aware of that correct alignment. The more muscle tension you use, the more locked everything will be and the more restricted your body actions will be. So remember, good posture should give you the most freedom in your body, should give you the maximum relaxation because all the muscles that can be relaxed will be relaxed. And now I can turn the body fully. Now I can sway the body fully. Now I can breathe. I can hold my arms in a relaxed way. That will all be possible, and it starts with your posture. Now, when we talk about improving your posture, and this is tricky, especially in the beginning, because a muscle fatigue and feeling uncomfortable are not exactly the same things. And there is a method called Alexander technique that is very good to improve your posture. It actually describes how can you improve your posture in a very simple ways during your day, not in the dance floor, just through life. And what it says, that every change of your posture will be uncomfortable in the beginning. And for a person coming from that position, to put them straight, they will feel back-weighted. But if you put them in front of the mirror, they will look straight. So remember, in the beginning especially, it's not what you feel, it's how it looks. So please try to use mirror as often as possible, record yourself as often as possible, and the last best friend you should always make acquaintance of is good old wall. And unless it's fallen Tower of Pisa that is angled, hopefully most of our walls nowadays are kind of 90-degree angle. You can always come to the wall, make sure that you're vertical and walk away from the wall. That's a very good exercise for anybody, especially when we start our day, just to make sure you got the right feeling. One of the best ways we found personally that helps us to put our posture into the correct place before, I would lie if I say every practice, I would say every dance, every single time we take a hold, I'm trying to do that exercise. So I will stand sideways to show it better. Try to relax your knees a little, hold your head very gently and pull it very slightly upwards. If you're in that position and you pull your head slightly upwards, it should get you into the correct alignment. And of course, in the end of the day, we still have to poise the body and create the shape, but that just gets you into very good postural line. And remember, good poise, so shape, comes from good posture. It's impossible to get a nice shape in the couple without correct posture, so don't even try. Okay, just to sum up the video, I know you probably thought we will give you a magical exercise on the dance floor that you can do to improve your posture, but to be honest, it's what you can do in everyday life that will improve your posture drastically. Statistically, it takes 6 to 12 weeks to improve your posture, or at least an element of posture you will try to concentrate about. So try to pick an element. For example, my head is too forward, start with just putting it backward. Doesn't matter how it feels, just look to the mirror. If it's in correct place, that's what you want to feel like, right? That's the whole point. Now, remember, second thing, doctors are expensive. So a visit to the doctor might cost you the same as new chair, or a new stand for your laptop, or a new monitor for your desk. So sometimes it's better to invest in the things that will constantly be improving your posture, rather have a one-off session with your doctor, with your physio, to improve it for a very short amount of time, and then we'll back to the old time, right? And that's why it's so important not to just think about your posture in the studio. We have to think about the posture all the time. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. And please, please, please think about your posture as often during the day as you can. The next video we'll upload will be about the posture exercises, actual exercises you can improve your muscles to get better posture. Thank you for today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.